Hi, I'm Jeremy. I have known Kris for 20 years. I've only known him for 15. I feel like I've known him my whole life. We shared common bonds with everything, starting with Twin Peaks. That's when I first met him. He's working at Borders, wearing a Twin Peaks shirt. Before I even moved here, before I even knew who Kris was, he helped me find a CD. We talked about that music, and I still have that CD. It's very important to me still. But some stories that I remember, some happy stories. I don't know if you remember that Kris lost his sense of what potatoes taste like. Does anybody remember that? I was there the day that he could taste potatoes again. It was awesome. Another time, I remember I come out and visit him in Athens. He was working at the lunch paper, that's a frequented bar downtown. I remember that we took a collection if he could strip down to his boxer shorts and run down the streets of Athens, screaming, "I'm a pretty princess." He did. And he was 20 bucks richer for the fact, and it was only 5 minutes, although it was about -5 degrees outside. I just wanted to give my respects to probably one of the best people I've ever met in my life. Yes, I feel guilty for not seeing him the last month or so. I know that some other people feel that way. I did get an email message from him before he went into the intensive care unit. It said, come on down to Athens, we'll hang out, drink some soda. I just want everybody to know that Kris will be missed, but he will also be remembered every day. I hope our hearts go out to Claire and Will, family, and thank everybody for knowing Kris. I just appreciate it.
Hello, my name is Tom. I met Kris at UGA around here. He was through Eric. And I didn't know him nearly as well as you did, and I wish I'd hung out with him more. I wasn't planning on speaking today or anything like that, but I thought of a couple nice things about Kris. One time we were helping Eric move, and we were in the truck together, and he mentioned to me that he come up with this idea for a band named Television Fuzz, which I think later became Television Buzz. And so he thought, does that sound cool to you? I was like, I always thought Luciferin would be a cool band name, because it says Lucifer is kind of like edgy and metal. And he was like, no, Television Fuzz is definitely better. And we had about a 20-minute conversation where we kind of had staked out our thing while we were driving around trying to help Eric out. And he finally went with Television Buzz. He might have said Buzz, he might have said Fuzz, I don't remember exactly. But yeah, he was a big David Lynch fan, Twin Peaks, he loved that. I remember going into one of his apartments one time, and he had a poster of Eraserhead on his wall, which was kind of trendy at the time. A lot of people had that. So I was like, "So Eraserhead, huh? I thought it was pretty terrible." He goes, "I've never seen it." But he was a great musician. I've actually been a fan of his music for the concept of time almost boggles me. 10, 15 years. I can't even say for sure. Just stuff he did in college. Great stuff, and I know his later stuff's so much better. I just haven't had time to listen to it all, but it's out there. His music is still out there. His music's going to live on, and the most important thing is that he'll live on through Will. But beyond that, I think it would also be important for him to think that his music's going to live on, and it will, and it should. form, he put everything into it. You know, nothing held back. All his energy went into it. And all his creativity went into his music. He did music for films. In fact, one of the last emails I got, the last email I got from him was a few weeks back. Me and my friends had been working on a movie he was aware of for a long time, like 10 years. You know, we just been working on it. So he asked, he was like, "Well, I almost hate to ask, but how's Payback Time coming?" You know, and that was, you know, that's the name of our movie. He watched all kind, you know, he watched the same kind of movies I do. He was watching Predator in the hospital. He was blogging about that on Facebook and stuff like that. And but you know, I can almost sense from the way he posed the question, he probably realized he wasn't going to see this film. That's because he's such a good friend. I'm going to miss him. You know, my friends and I have decided we are going to dedicate the film to his memory when it finally does come out. And you know, Kris, you know, wasn't necessarily super religious. He's probably one of the most, you know, secular friends I have in a lot of ways. And you know, I come from, you know, I work in a comic store. I think, you know, come from the world of superheroes, and those were sort of my deities growing up. And the one superhero who Kris really reminds me of more than any, you know, not Superman, Batman, is Green Lantern, because Green Lantern has the ability to overcome great fear. That's his only power, and he has a ring that helps him to do that. But that was Kris's power. I think he was absolutely fearless in the face of unimaginable darkness. And one of the things I loved about him was that he had a dark sense of humor, a cynical sense of humor. Some might say an evil sense of humor at times, but you know, that was him as a kid. As an adult, he kept that same dark sense of humor, even in the face of real darkness. But in addition to that, he was also one of the most loving people I'd ever heard of, openly loving. He would often post, you know, "I love you all my friends, all my family, I love you." And that takes a kind of bravery that a lot of us don't have, you know. But he kept that edge, and he really was a remarkable person. But for Will, I'll see him later, but where is Will? Got a Green Lantern ring for Will.
Kris was he was a great musician. He was a great songwriter. And he was a lovely guy. And we played together many times. And anytime we asked him to play, he answered that call. He never said, "What's in it for me?" He just answered the call. And that's the most important thing I think you can have as a musician, is that you answer the call. Kris answered